For some, we might not have had much experience using a protractor before. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what a protractor is and how we came up with it, and then some fascinating things about it, and then how to use it. So protractors are pretty interesting, and it goes back to this idea of circles or directions. See, what we wanted to be able to do is to figure out a change in direction. Right? And so if we were here in the middle and maybe we were going to be going that direction, but then we change direction and now we're going to be going in a different direction or a different direction, how are we going to figure that out? The goal is not to figure out how far we're going to be going along this circle, because the circle could be big or could be small. But what we're wanting to know is the difference that we have in here. So some people much smarter than your professor came up with a way of doing this. I'm going to bring in our little spinner toy, and what they came up with is a full circle going all the way around. And they decided to divide that into 360 degrees. So a full circle is 360, and we're going to call those degrees, just like what we have on the oven with temperature. But in this term, it's going to be a direction that we're going to be following. Now, 360 is a pretty fascinating number, because 360 can be divided by 2 or by 3. Or it can be divided by 4, or 5, or 6, or 8, or 10, or 12, and it just keeps on going. So 360 is a pretty cool number for that reason. So let's bring this guy back. Let's say that we're starting here along this baseline. If the full circle is 360, then we know half of it is going to be 180. So if we're going that direction, if you're in my generation, you might remember skateboarding, where you're riding on your skateboard and then you spin it all the way around. It's called doing a 180. Okay? Or if you have a decision and then you make a 180 degree change, that's completely changing direction. So 360 divided by 2 is going to be 180. So going all the way around is 180 degrees. All the way over to there. Now, if we take 360 and we divide it into 4, let's say that we're going to be making a single turn that way, or maybe we're going to be turning 1/4 of a circle that way. 360 divided by 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, is going to be going 90 degrees. Right? And so we can go in either direction, but really trying to figure out how many degrees difference we're going is what this protractor does. If it's going to be completely opposite, then we know that guy. If it's going to be 1/4 or 3/4, then we can count that off by 90, and 90 and 90 is 270. But other things happen sometimes. Sometimes we have weird angles like this. Right? And so let's say that we are heading off in this direction, and we need to change so that we're going this way. What is that change in angle? And that's where the protractor comes into play. I'm going to start off by lining up my baseline with my original line. Right? I put the spot of turning right there in the center. Right? Now, there are a lot of numbers that we have going both directions on this particular protractor, but we always start at 0. You'll notice that 0 is right there, and it goes 0 on the outside, 10, 20, 30. You'll notice that 1/4 of a circle is to 90. You'll notice that a full circle going all the way around would be 180. But in this case, we're going to come up to 40, 41, 42 degrees. So this angle that we have going from here down to there is going to be at 42 degrees. Now, things could be a little bit different. We could be heading off into this direction. And now we need to change directions going off this way. Okay. Well, the protractor helps us with that as well. We're going to set it up the same way. We're going to line up our baseline. We put our center pivot point there at the center. And then we have some weirdness, right? So look at the inside numbers. You'll notice that these inside numbers, here's 170, this would be 180. And they get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until they're over here at 10. And then it would be at 0 right there. So we're going to start at 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. I keep everything lined up here. Where's 135? And I'm going to come all the way out here because I don't need the little broken down quite so much. I come here to 135, 136, 137, and I believe that would be at 138. So for our change in direction all the way from over there, it would be 138 degrees. And I'm going to bring this down so it's a little bit smaller. That's going to be that angle that we see right in there. So at 138 degrees. Now, we know that this is a straight line. And so if we were going this way, and then we did our full circle going all the way over to this way, that would be 180 degrees. This number and this number should add up to 180 degrees. But that's how we're going to be measuring our angles from both directions here. So 42 coming up one way, 138, 130, 135, 36, 37, 38 coming from the other direction.